It's a new life for me, yeah. It's a new dawn, it's a new day.
Hello, welcome back. Glad you could join us today. I have a cold, y'all. It's horrible. It's horrible. I'm trying to get rid of this cold, but I'm on a little bit of meds, so I'm gonna try to get this done as briefly as possible, and then we could go on. Anyway, like I said, these are videos that's gonna come like behind each other, and this is like video 2, part 2 of part 1. Okay, now part 2 consists of a neighbor, and in our last video we discussed about how children, how it's blessed that sometimes your kids don't get to play with some of your neighbor's kids, because some of your neighbor kids turn out to be trifling bad children, and you thank God your kids didn't get hooked up into it as well. Now, this happened, like, my daughter was like 12. She's like 20 something, 21 maybe now. My daughter was, she has a little friend, and the girl had moved into the neighborhood, and she said, "Ma, I have a new friend. She wants me to come down. She wants to do my hair and da da da." So, I'm like, okay, go ahead down, get your hair done, have fun with your little girlfriend. Now, and my daughter, she's sitting here, so if I say something wrong, you hear her say, "No, mama, back up," or something, that's her big mouth trying to tell me how to tell her story, which I'm going to say it in front of her and anybody, because she can verify, witness that this is what happened. Anyway, so she goes down there and she's getting her hair done by the girl, and she says she gets thirsty and she wants to go get some Kool-Aid or something to drink out the refrigerator. What was it then?
I was not thirsty. She was doing my hair, and I put my hand in my pocket, and I reached in when I pulled it out. The Kool-Aid pack was in my pocket because we went food shopping that.
Yeah, I'm not talking, but you went so far into the story. It's a shame.
But you said.
Wait a minute, hold up. No, because you jumped the story, because you can't debate on my video. Shut up, sit back. Anyway, she was over at the girl house, right, and they were doing whatever, and she went up to go get something out of the refrigerator. When she went to go get something out the refrigerator, the girl mother and a man was in the door. Right or wrong?
Right.
Okay. Now, the man and the woman was in the door, and there was her mother, her friend's mama, and her friend's mama had on her bra and panties. And she was really, saturated with water. And the guy was putting on his pants, and he was saturated with water. So it's like as soon as you come to the refrigerator, it's like their bedroom is like probably right there by the door of the refrigerator. And as soon as she went to the door, it's like their door opened up and bam, you saw it. So my daughter came home, later on that evening, and she said, "Ma, I need to talk to you." And I said, "What do you got to talk to me about, baby?" And she said, "Well, she said, I want to know if I was at my friend's house, and when I went to the refrigerator to get something to drink." Now, my daughter's 12 at this time, y'all, 12 years old. She says, "I want some, I saw them, and they were, they had water on them, And I said, "What you mean had water on them?" Like they were sweating, real heavy. I said, "Well, maybe it was hot in the house. Or maybe they had the air on or something like that. I don't know. What I'm going to tell her, So she said, "Because I thought they was brothers and sisters, because that's what the daughter told my niece, that was her mother's brother." So I said, "Well, maybe it is, and he was fixing the pipe or something." And so my daughter gave me a funny look on her face, and she walked away. But I'm like, okay, well, I can't say, because I don't know the girl. So later on, the guy who my daughter kept seeing going up and down the street, I come to realize that was her brother, because I saw him come up the street with her mama, but that's another story. But anyway, so my daughter came in, and she said, I said, "Well, why do you want to speak to me?" We're still in the conversation of what she was saying. She said, "Because they said I can't come back down there." And I said, "What?" And she said, "Yeah, the mama went off on me, told me she didn't want me come back to her house no more. I couldn't play with her daughter. I was, and yelling at her. And then she tried to accuse me of stealing some Kool-Aid." So said, baby, how you, Mama, I had the Kool-Aid packs in my back pocket from when we went shopping earlier that day. We did go shop earlier that day, and my daughter bought 10 packs of Kool-Aid. But see, you had to hide the Kool-Aid packs from my brother, because if you didn't hide the Kool-Aid packs, by the time, you know, you realize it, about 12 packs or 8 packs are gone. Because they done made the Kool-Aid and drank it all up. And see, they'll make a pitcher of Kool-Aid and one person drink the pitcher. So everybody had to have their own individual bag. So she hid them. And she stuck them in her pocket, but she forgot they was back there. And so, I mean, like, if you know, I could understand why you would accuse somebody of stealing some Kool-Aid. I mean, Kool-Aid is what, 25 cents a pack, y'all? I mean, really, of all things, it's a 25-cent pack of Kool-Aid. Anyway, so she was saying, you know, that's why she couldn't go back over there anymore. And she was saying that that's why she wasn't with her friend. But anyway, so as time goes on, excuse me, this cold is like got me really tore up. As time goes on, I come to a understanding that this guy was her brother. Yeah, you heard me. The guy was her brother. So the same guy that she was half naked with her brown panties with and pulling up his pants, that was sweating in the room, are brother and sister. Same mama. Don't know about the daddy, but I know they got the same mama. So that's why you don't want my daughter back down your house. I kind of got that understanding, and I said, good. She ain't need to be down there no way. Because who the heck goes to bed with their own brother or sister? And y'all grown. I mean, you know, granted, you know, I heard some things about the daughter as she grew up doing her first cousin and all that other craziness. But, my kids don't need to be playing with people that go to bed with their own brother. So that was her experience with one of these crazy neighbors. Like I told you, you know, these are the weird neighbors that I have. And then the same woman now, let's go back. Now I have another child, my son. He about 21, 22, something like that. 22. And he is, at that time, he had to be about 13, I want to say. About 13. Yeah, because it was the same year that she didn't want my daughter to come down there. But anyway, the little girl, her daughter liked my son. You know, she had a little crush on him, whatever. So she called my son one night and told him that she wanted to get him some. Because her mama and them was asleep and she was going to sneak him through the bedroom window. And I was in my bedroom doing homework probably at that time. And he was supposedly in his room with his pajamas on. But anyway, so later on, it had to be about 9:30, 10 o'clock. I get a knock at the door. It's the police with my son. So I'm looking at my son like, wait a minute, you got on your pajamas and socks. What the police doing bringing you up? What's going on? So the officer explained to me that apparently the little girl called my son and told my son to come over. And when she tried to open up the window to sneak him into her bedroom so they could have sex, the alarm went off. And so when the alarm went off, her mother got up with her brother and they went into the room and accused my son of trying to break in to rob them. But at the time he was hiding behind the shed because all he had on was a pair of pajamas and some socks. So I asked the officer, like, what was the problem? I mean, really, he had no business down there. One, he had no business down there. Two, he shouldn't even responded to that bull jump with her telling him to come down her house to have sex, because really both of them was too young to even think about having sex. But then again, you know, kids do what kids do. But I didn't like that part of it. But he was hiding behind the shed because he heard the alarm go off and he thought he was in a lot of trouble. So the officer brought him home to explain to me that young men at 12 and 13 years old, if a young girl gonna call him and tell him that she gonna give him something, they gonna answer. They gonna go see about it, you know, because they boys, you know, they're in puberty now, you know what I'm saying, and little things to tempt them. But, you know, the alarm system was on the window, and she opened the window, because you can't open the windows from the outside now. You only can open the windows from the inside, right, Asia? You can't do it from the outside. You have to go in the inside, open the window. So the window's being opened from the inside, but yet he's being accused, like the officer said, of breaking in, which the officer didn't believe none of that. He didn't even believe that lie, because he, like I observed, the windows open from the inside, so there's no way. But she was trying to cover up the fact she was sneaking boys in her bedroom, and she didn't want her mother to know she was doing this. So with that being said, the little nasty young lady got him in trouble, but I'm not sure she got in trouble. But he got into a lot of trouble, but then he should, because he left the house. But I feel, even with that, either way, I feel like if you're my neighbor and you got a problem with my kids, you should be able to knock on my door and tell me what your problem is. You need to be knocking, like, you know, excuse me, I need to speak to you about your daughter, or excuse me, I need to speak to you about your son. I don't feel like as a neighbor you need to be calling the police, because, you know, everything doesn't need the police to be involved. Some things we can resolve and handle as grown-ups, as adults. But, you know, then again, when you're dealing with people who are deceitful and hiding stuff and doing stuff that they ain't supposed to do, you know, you run into this kind of situation. But this is only part 2, folks, and part 3 will be up soon. Hopefully I'll be feeling better. Until then, peace, and see you later, and have a nice day. Bye.